Okay. Hey class. Well, my name is Victor Martinez and I will be doing this project by myself. Okay. First I wanted to start off doing number 1 and explaining how I did it. Well, to my work. So, instead of doing the, the Zoom call, I figured that Zoom call was only going to be effective because of the whole partner work. But since there is no partner, then I just figured I would record it and send it as a video attachment. Okay, so starting out number 1. So for these 4 problems, I was asked to find the volume, density, average density, to plot data or mass volumes, and to add a trend line to the graph, right? Okay, so we start off on number 1. First, we need to look at what we're given. I was part of group 8, so as you can see, I wrote the little table down right here. So I just find it easier writing everything down, then starting working from there. So in this equation, um, first we needed to find the volume, and we were given length, the width, and the height. So to find the volume, we would have to multiply those 3 together. You would have to multiply those 3 together, and then once you find that, divide the mass by the volume. So in the first one, you multiply to 51.99 times 9.55 times 8.69, and when you multiply all those together, you get 4,314.6241 what is that? Millimeters. Okay, so I figured out that, for example, when I did the density lab, that I should have rounded here. I should round it after the next step in order to get a more accurate answer. So that's what I did. So I did 11.66 point, sorry, 11.6623 divided by 4,314.6241. So I got the top part because that was the mass I was given, and I just inserted the volume that we just did. So when I did that, the answer was 0.00270297. But when we rounded the sig fix, there's 3 sig fix because it's, when you go back to the length, width, and height, length, width, and height, the least number of sig fix is 3, so that's a number that has to stay there. So for this answer, the the volume would be 4,310 millimeters cube, square millimeters, cube millimeters, sorry. And the density would be 0.00270 millimeters cubed per gram, or cubic millimeters per gram. Okay, so that would be the answer to number 1. Now moving on to the answer for number 2. It would be the same process, so it would be length times width times height. And for this, the answer would be, well, first I multiply 91.99 times 9.65 times 9.85. Then the answer would be 8,743.87948. Okay, so we said we would keep that the same, then round the sig fix at the end. So the given mass was 23.7891. So we divided that by 8,743.87948. Why? Because that's the volume that we just did. So when we multiply those 3, we received 0.0027266. And when you round it with sig fix, the answer would be 0.00272 density. So that would be for the density. And for that, it would be with labels and everything. The volume would be 8,740 cubic millimeters for volume, and for density it would be 0.00272 cubic millimeters per gram. I'll show you guys my work right here. Okay, moving on to number 3. So for number 3, I multiplied 144.79 times 9.59 times 10.73, and when we multiplied all those three together, we received 14,867.6204. So so that's the density, but when you round it to take fixed, it would be 4,900 cubic millimeters. Okay. But for the purposes of finding density, remember you have to keep it the same all throughout the process up until the end. So I would divide the density. The density setup would be 40.3367 divided by 14,867.9204. So when you get that, you get this super long number. It would be like 0.002713 whatever, and we keep going. But the most important thing is that we only have to round to 3 sig figs. So because of this, it would be 0.00271 cubic millimeters per gram. So just to recap, for number 3, the volume would be 14,900 cubic millimeters, and the density would be 0.00271 cubic millimeters per gram. Okay, so let's move on to number 4. So number 4 numbers were, if I recall, 204.65 times 9.63 times 9.55, and when you multiply all those, you get the answer of 18,820.9492. Okay, so in order to do this, you would get 50.999 divided by 18,820.9492, and when you divide those two, it would be 0.002703, but when you round it, it would be 0.00270. So to recap, for number 4, the volume would be 18,800 cubic millimeters, and the density would be 0.00270 cubic millimeters per gram. Okay, now, in order to find the average density, you would have to add to find the average density of all 4, you would have to add all the density numbers or all the density answers that we just got. So for example, you would have to add number 1's density, which was 0.00270. I'm sorry, I'm about to sneeze. 0.00270 cubic millimeters per gram plus 0.00272 cubic millimeters per gram. 0.00271 cubic millimeters per gram and 0.00270 cubic millimeters per gram. Why? Because those are all 4 densities, and then once you add all those up, you get 0.01083, and then divided by 4. Why divided by 4? Because there's 4 problems, so you need to divide it by 4 so you get your average density. So the answer to that would be 0.00027075. But once you have to round it, remember, sig fig rules. So the answer would be 0.00271 cubic millimeters per gram. So those were the answers to number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, volume and density, and average density at the end. So now moving on to the whole graph. For this, I actually really struggled, but I figured I would show you what I have. And keep in mind, I kind of did this alone, and I messaged my teacher about this. Just about my couple worries that I had, and uh, I understand maybe it was weekend, maybe they were busy. We all have lives outside of school, but I really did this to the best of my ability. And yeah, let me just show you real quick what I got. So as you can see here, I charted the graph. I put in my values, but I'm not really sure how to implement the volumes that are right, the density volumes that are right here. But yeah. So my graph it just shows it's labeled as single density. Let me just recalibrate this. There you go. A single discussion density, and I labeled it from a 0 to a 1. I put block 1 density, block 2, block 3, block 4, and the average density. It's just I implemented all the volumes that I needed to have. I customized the labels. It's just I don't know what problem or what I'm missing. Maybe I'm just missing a button that says insert it or something. But better than to receive some points and no points. So yeah, that was my discussion, my density solo work that I did, and yeah, I hope you have a wonderful day and a wonderful night, and I will be seeing you in class on Wednesday. Thank you.